So Chappell Roan, it says that her breakout moment came in 2020 when she released Pink Pony Club, a song that resonated with the LGBTQ plus audiences and established her distinct style. In 2021, she started headlining her own shows, building a loyal fan base through her energetic performances and bold, colorful aesthetics. By 2023, she was selling out venues, gaining millions of streams on platforms like Spotify, and emerging as a prominent figure in the indie pop scene with her vibrant pop anthems, and visually striking music videos. So she's had this huge, in the last couple of years, and I think specifically in the last year, a huge just like rise to fame. And about a month ago, she came out with this video saying, basically reacting to like how she's been experiencing fame, which doesn't sound entirely positive. Obviously there's positive parts of fame and there's the appreciation and recognition, but she basically made this video saying like, please stop stalking me. Let's watch this video together because it's basically her going on screen and saying like, please give me space, please leave me alone.
I don't care that abuse and harassment, stalking, whatever, is a normal thing to do to people who are famous or a little famous, whatever. I don't care that it's normal. I don't care that this crazy type of behavior comes along with the job, the career field I've chosen. That does not make it okay. That doesn't make it normal. It doesn't mean I want it. It doesn't mean that I like it. I don't want whatever the fuck you think you're supposed to be entitled to whenever you see a celebrity. I don't give a fuck if you think it's selfish of me to say no for a photo or for your time or for a hug. That's not normal. That's weird. It's weird how people think that you know a person just because you see them online or you listen to the art they make. That's fucking weird. I'm allowed to say no to creepy behavior, okay?
I mean, there you go. But she puts out this boundary of like, I don't want to be stalked. And I noticed after that video, like people, her fans, were really not supportive. Like, I don't know if this is just what I'm seeing on the internet, but people just seemed very unsupportive to this. So now Chappell Roan, I guess, was supposed to headline at a festival and she decided to pull out the day before or a few days before. And I saw a lot of videos about people upset, understandably, that she had canceled. They had bought hotels, they had rented cars, they had flown across the country to go see her at this festival, which I think is totally valid. So the context, it sounds like, that Chappell Roan gave for canceling her show was basically saying like, I need to protect my mental health. I want to be able to make this sustainable. I want to give it my all every time I perform, and I don't feel like I'm in space to do that right now, and I want to make sure that basically she's just supporting her mental and physical health. The videos I saw in response to this, I found very gross. They were very like passive aggressive and just, I was doing research for this video and I was watching them, and we'll watch a few of them together, but I don't really want to I don't like this energy, and I will explain why. And I also don't want to give these people like a big platform. So this is one of them. I'm just gonna show a few clips because it's pretty long.
Sacrifice so many things to go to a Chappell Roan concert. Like the thousands of people who have booked travel, booked flight, booked hotels, and paid for the tickets to see her, and she cancels the day before. It's like kind of crazy. Like all those people who are out money and PTO, like people who requested off work and they can't get that back. Like that's something they cannot get back. Like with my job, like if I took a week off to go do something and that thing got canceled, like I couldn't just take another week off another time in the year. Like, no, that's gone. Like you used it and you chose to use it for that moment. And it just really sucks. Like it affects a lot of people. Like
I think it's super reasonable to be upset that your PTO is, quote, is like going to waste essentially, and that you spent this money and it's not coming to fruition and you're not getting what you planned on and were super excited about. I think that's all super, super valid. So back to it.
Thousands of people are going to be disappointed when you cancel a show, and like I just kind of feel like to some extent, like if it's not a crisis, like I get like you should prioritize your mental health. This is gonna sound so bad, but like sometimes you need to push through. Like your Chappell Roan.
Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, and this is what I really want to focus on, is that essentially when you have, this is what she's talking about. She's saying, well, I work this job in customer service where 5 days a week I have to push past my emotional boundaries, my emotional capacity, and I break, basically she's breaking her boundaries and she's consciously going past her body's capacity so that she can attend to people at work. When you do that, you often expect that of others too. So this is a huge thing in this world of people pleasing, because as people pleasers ourselves, often, perhaps, maybe, break our boundaries or violate our boundaries or say yes when we don't want to say yes. We go into work when we're, maybe not even just, oh, I'm going to work, but I'm still giving the most at work. I'm tending to you at work at a level that breaks our boundaries. And so we expect other people to do the same. So I think in this moment, too, in this instance, we're really looking past, like, this person has their own autonomy. They're allowed to make their own choices. I honor their autonomy and I honor their freedom, and really at like, well, I don't like this. What I'm seeing with all of this is that people are getting mad that she's not giving them what they want, what they think that she owes them, which is pushing past her body's capacity just because they have done so in the past in other situations, of giving up her health so that they can see her show. She's canceling the show, and instead of just being angry or being like, okay, I'm pissed, I'm sad, I'm having a lot of feelings, like this fucking sucks, I really wanted to see this Chappell Roan show. Instead of just having that feeling, but also honoring that she's a person that has limited capacity and has been, not that it even matters, but literally putting out so much content and shows in the last year or whatever it is, they are now kind of resorting to what I feel is abusive behavior and bullying on the internet, which is really disappointing, especially coming from fans. Like, I feel like if you're really a fan of someone and their craft and their art, don't you want them to do it in a way that's sustainable so that you can continue to enjoy it for more time? And don't you want to support the person behind the art? Like, I don't understand that. And yeah, one thing I have in my notes, my like morning thought was like, does Chappell Roan really owe you the destruction or the possible destruction of her body, voice, mental, and physical health just because you have burned yourself out in the past? Does she? Does any celebrity or does any other person, like, that's the thing. We're talking about celebrities here, which are people who genuinely owe us nothing. Like, even if we have paid for their concert tickets, like, that doesn't mean that they obviously, like, legally there's certain things around that, but I'm more talking about the level of human. Like, this is a parasocial relationship. I feel like I know you, but you don't know me, and we do this even in our personal lives, like with our friends. Like, what do I feel like my friend owes me? Like, this is a person I know, I have a personal relationship with. If I in the past have been a friend, that to me, a friend is like someone who's there no matter what. I'm always saying yes, you call me, I always answer. Like, basically, we're talking about enmeshment here, which is an extreme lack of boundaries. I'll put the definition of enmeshment. It happens in families, it happens in friends. And I think this is a great example of how it happens with celebrities. It's this expectation to have zero boundaries, for me to basically have my way with you. And if you don't give me what I want, I will manipulate you through passive aggressive behavior, which we're seeing in the videos, straight up bullying and aggression and abuse. And it's really, really icky. And I just feel disgust looking at this. Yeah, another thing I have in my notes is just like, my hot take is that people are mad at her for having any type of boundaries. because celebrities in the past have essentially just either by their own consent or just they have been absolutely forced to have their entire lives like splayed open and probed into. I just listened to Britney Spears' audiobook and she goes really deep into this, how everyone felt like they had this, they had access to her, like they felt like they could just make comments on her body, on her breasts, on her sexuality, on the state of her virginity, and all these things that are private for someone. She just was like, how do people feel so entitled to this? That's enmeshment, just that extreme lack of boundaries. So I think that people are used to having extremely enmeshed relationships with celebrities, and because she's not consenting to that and she's having boundaries, it's now turned very abusive. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, there's one last video that I would like to watch, and it's her talking firsthand about this experience of getting of her experience with the fans online. I think it's really interesting.
And like, even like, I can't even look at social media anymore because I just feel so bad about myself. So this, like, people are here to like celebrate like music, and it makes them feel good, and that makes me feel good. But like online, I like can't even, like, that used to be fun for me. Like, it used to be fun to like go live on TikTok or like literally post anything. Like, I won't even post a caption anymore because I'm like, I don't want to deal with, like, people are so hateful to me. Like, they just bully the fuck out of me. It's insane that like that's like the automatic, like that's the automatic mode people go into whenever someone is like literally just strong. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I cannot believe it. I just have to stop. It happens so fast. Like, I genuinely am like so disgusted by, like, and if I had energy, I probably just would literally just go through and block. And it's just crazy that people like bully me in my own comments. Like, why are you commenting on that for, like, on my thing? Like, that's insane. Like, think I don't see that? So that used to be fun. That used to be like DMing, like I would reply to like every DM. And that part of the community was so special to me. And now it's just like, I'm like in a shell, a turtle shell now, because people like actually want me to hate myself so badly. It's crazy. And like, I just feel bad for the other pop artists that have been dealing with this for 10 years, like, and are like made to feel like they have to. It's so bizarre. And so this is real life, and like that's the only thing I can grasp onto anymore, is like real life and like what feels good in my body, like in front of me, because I just like, I get why people like become like hermits and like become so jaded. It's because like people just are so desperate for them to hate themselves. It's so crazy. So yes, this motivates me, gives me energy.
There's a comment on here. It says the fact that the search is Chappell Roan entitled when all she's done is stick up for her boundaries and beliefs is crazy. Someone said the way can relate to everything she says, but I'm a nobody. Can't even imagine how awful it must be to get hate from so many people. Yeah, our nervous system is not wired to handle this. I know that when I was getting like quote canceled and I had thousands of people sending me hate messages, like I have, okay, Miss Daisy, I've got the camera operator making executive decisions here. I have so many resources and I was still like having full breakdown. So like she said, the way that there's celebrities and pop, especially not even just like celebrities like Kim Kardashian, where they've really gone out of their way like to be famous for the sake of being famous and maybe capitalizing on that fame. but these people are genuine artists where they're creating music because they love it. One comment that I've seen a lot is like, well, she consented to this when she agreed to be a pop star. And something about that doesn't sit right with me. That expectation, it's kind of giving the same energy as like, well, like a parent might tell you, well, I brought you into this world, so you owe me XYZ. Not really related. It just feels manipulative, and it feels like a really weak justification for this abuse that's happening. It's just coming back to this idea of like, well, I've pushed through in the past. Well, I stayed at my shitty job for 30 years, so you should be able to perform this concert. And it's like, we're not allowing people to have their autonomy. We're not seeing people as something separate from ourselves, a separate person, a separate entity that is entitled and empowered to make their own decisions that support them, regardless or not of if it disappoints us. Let's talk briefly on burnout, because I think this is what Chappell Roan is trying to avoid here by canceling these shows. It's either she's going into burnout already, I wouldn't be surprised. People go into burnout for way less than what she is doing right now, or she's trying to avoid a big crash in the future, which I think that she had mentioned in her note. So burnout basically happens when we go past our body's capacity for an extended period of time. So burnout happens when we don't pre-schedule or give ourselves time away from whatever is activating. So if we are spending a lot of time in activation in a very sympathetic state, which we need to be activated, we need to be in our sympathetic nervous system state. Sometimes that's how we clean, that's how we interact with people, that's how we get work done. If I'm constantly super relaxed, I'm gonna literally do nothing. So we need a certain level of activation, but our bodies are designed to pendulate from activation to deactivation, up and down, up and down. And what happens with burnout is we usually come up into this activation and we stay there for a long time. The body cannot stay there forever, and then eventually you crash and burn, and that's when you experience burnout. You know it in yourself, and we've seen it with celebrities in the public eye. Just read Britney Spears's audiobook, and her break was very public, and I think like when she was shaving her head and all these things, to me it really felt like, especially listening to her audiobook, it was a accumulation of years of being treated like a product and not a person. So everything being very transactional, from her immediate family, which is heartbreaking, with her label, with the people that, you know, she worked with interviewers, with fans. Like, obviously there was people that genuinely wanted her well-being, but it doesn't really sound like there was that many of them in her immediate vicinity, or at least the people that saw her as a product to be used were less than the people that saw her as a whole person. This is not just for celebrities, could be for people that you work with, people on social media. I know for myself, I've experienced people completely dehumanizing me online, expecting things of me, expecting free content, expecting whatever it is. These people that are giving you art, whether it's content on social media or music or performances, these are people and not products. So let's treat them as such. That's pretty much it. So basically understanding as the consumers of these, the music and the content and stuff, like, even if we don't like it, these people don't owe us their mental health, they don't owe us our physical health, and they don't owe us anything, really. Like, so what do you think? Let me know in the comments. And if you're interested in learning more about this, specifically in the context of having support for recovering people pleasers through the holidays specifically, which I think is the hardest time, I'm coming out with a program called the Holiday Survival Guide for the Recovering People Pleaser, and has everything that you need to support you in supporting your body and your nervous system. Get on my newsletter list if you want to be updated for that. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.